because
And
I
you
know I have
liked
a
them?
collection somewhere. They were fine. I mean, it
You got real
wasn't.
high there. Yeah,
I did. I
yeah,
went high
they were,
voice.
they were.
You know. Hey, you know, the Ray Bradbury, but it's okay.
He's certainly no Heinlein. Hav and Charles talk comics. Hi there, and welcome to Hav and Charles Talk Comics. This is Charles Herring, and I am here with my compatriot, my co-host, my good friend, Javier Gonzalez. Hi, Jav. How you doing?
I'm good, dude. How are you?
I'm doing fine. It's a pleasure once again to get to see you while we do this podcast. Since we are doing it via FaceTime, well, sort of via FaceTime. It's muted, and we have our mics all set up, and Hav has got his mic pressed up against his face this time. So hopefully that will alleviate some of the sound discrepancies betwixt the two of us.
I'm gonna make love to this microphone like a soul singer in 1979.
Sweet, and I get to watch.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
I'm really glad to see you're wearing a NASA T-shirt. Are you sure you don't want to be wearing a Virgin Atlantic or a Virgin Space whatever shirt so we can populate space with billionaires?
Yeah, no. The next time they ask for some kind of tax break on something, I'm just going to point at their huge phallic space rockets and say, no, no, bad billionaire, bad billionaire.
Oh, now, Hav, saying bad billionaire implies that there might be good billionaires, and we know that's not true.
I've never met a billionaire in person, but I'm going to say probably they don't exist.
Excellent. And that was the political part of our podcast. So today we're going to talk about the two comics we read. Hav had me read We3 by, was it Grant Morrison?
Mr. Grant Morrison was a writer. The artist was Mr. I said, you know what? Shoot, I already did it. I said Mr. Grant Morrison. Grant Morrison has come out as non-binary.
Oh, I didn't
Uh,
know that.
yeah, so
Okay, they.
Grant Morrison, and my bad, right off the bat,
That's
Grant
okay.
Morrison and Frank Quietly
Okay.
is the artist.
All right.
I do my
What?
best to do the pronouns correctly because that's just respect.
Yes.
Cool.
What are Grant's preferred pronouns?
I think it's just the they,
They, them?
them. I
Okay.
believe so.
I thank you for letting me know. I will endeavor.
I have a friend of mine who has a child that is non-binary. So I don't believe I just brain farted there on Grant Morrison. But yeah, so I try to do the best I can to, again, just respectful. That's, you know, how hard is that?
I think that's very good of you to make the attempt. Well, I
Oh,
think that's
anyway,
just a thing human beings should do.
yeah. Well, and then just to keep us rolling, Charles, you suggested I read Bitter Root.
Yeah. Bitterroot by Chuck Brown and David F. Walker were the writers, and the art was by Sandford Green.
And a tidbit about this that I was kind of guessing as I was perusing it. I knew fact zero about Bitterroot before I started reading it. Just cold opened virtually as it was the comic book for the first time, and was not surprised at all African American creative team, which was very cool.
I absolutely assumed that when I read it, but I confirmed that when I wrote a little article with some answered questions from, I believe it was David F. Walker, in it that they were all African American. I thought that was great. I had assumed it based on the comic. I too knew nothing about it when I got it. This is the first one I've suggested to you that I hadn't read yet. It came across my Twitter feed from different people. It had been all over based on some of the people I follow were talking about it. They weren't going into it. They were just saying, you got to read this. And so I was like, you know what? The people that are saying you got to read this, I trust them. So I suggested it for us.
Nice. Okay,
Yes.
so I did not know that. I thought you had read this previously.
No, that was a stab in the dark. I trusted people that I follow on Twitter sometimes, and If you're wise, you can do that. If you know what you're looking for. Don't trust people on the internet overall, though.
So I should not have given that Nigerian prince my bank account number?
No, that was a good idea. I
Okay.
just don't know why people don't do that anymore. I mean, there are literally millionaires running around here. Matter of fact, you have an email from another Nigerian prince.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'm sending it right now.
Okay. Um, so, hey, which one do you want to tackle first? Are we going to go in chronological release? Do you want to do
Yeah,
one versus the
let's
other?
let's go in chronological release like we did up until last week when we switched it around. We can talk about We3 first. Is that what we say call it? Is it We3? Since
That's what I call it, We3.
okay,
Yeah.
just for anybody that doesn't know, it's WE number 3 all squished up together.
So, yeah, this came out in 2004, Vertigo, DC Comics, 3 issues, and it is a tight 3 issue, seat of your pants, I think, story about the military experimentation on a dog, a cat, and a bunny rabbit, weaponizing them. The military, muckety mucks deciding, okay, well that worked out okay, but we're done. Let's put them down. We're gonna destroy them. A scientist feels badly about it because she's come to adore these animals that now can talk, literally talk because of the tech. I mean, they're bionic now. They're cyborgs, and she lets them go. I usually say hijinks ensue, then some real serious stuff goes down because these animals, guess what? They have a survival instinct. They're weaponized, and they want to live at all
Yes,
costs.
yes, they do. A little more context. This is, to me, I kind of looked at this as partly a damning of the idea of animal testing and human testing and what the military and the government has done throughout time. Part of the reason they were getting rid of it is they figured out a way to do better with some other stuff. They had advanced it, so they were kind of retiring that team and the person who did it. And of course, by
Correct.
when they retire you in special operations, in TV, movies, and books, they mean kill you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what a euphemism. Well, let's retire We3. It doesn't mean they're going to move them to Florida in
Well,
a condo.
they're going to be on a farm where they have room to run, and the bunny has all of the lettuce the bunny wants.
Yeah. So, well, this I had read this when it. I think pretty much. No, I remember picking up the issues when it came out in 2004. So I'll ask you, what did you think? Takeaways. I got a few notes, but not a ton actually.
Well, it was really short and tight, so there's not a huge amount to talk about it with. But I will say that I really, really liked it. It was really good. Well done, you. You're
Hey,
you got one that I got nothing to complain about this one.
well, as
Thank you,
opposed to
folks. Good
some.
night.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's. Hey, thank you all for joining episode 6 of Hob and Charles Talk Comics. It's been a pleasure. Hope you enjoyed it. No, because look, I know Eternals, going back to the last episode, was not, maybe didn't hold up. And maybe I feel, I was thinking about this, Charles. I feel like I didn't defend, like I needed to defend it, like I'm its defense lawyer or something. But
You did not need to defend it in any way whatsoever.
there was,
It's
there
your
was,
fault I didn't enjoy it as much as I wanted to, Javier.
exactly. No, there were some good parts in
There,
Eternals,
there really
but
were. Yes.
it's just, like I said, different time, Jack Kirby pushing envelopes. This,
In fairness, hold on. In fairness, in the 70s, every man and woman did look alike.
they kind of did. Well, remember on TV there was no HD, so everybody did kind of, in that kind of hazy, staticky, tube TV, culture. Yeah, everybody maybe did. No, so going back to We3, I am a huge fan of Grant Morrison. When I did read regularly and picked up monthlies, if I saw something with with Grant Morrison's name on it, it was an instant buy, pretty much without exception. Frank Quietly is, I think, still, you know, is still an artist, a comic book artist, and for
Yes,
my
I
money,
think so.
one of the one of the best going to this day, and does not disappoint. If you want to talk about sequential, art storytelling, because there's a huge, if memory serves, the first half almost of the first issue is just drawings. It's just him setting the stage of what's going on. They're in combat or they're doing. I forget. God, I'm blank. Oh yeah, they're taking out some drug lord or something,
Yeah,
or something.
there is almost no dialogue in comparison to most comics. There's just almost no dialogue, no text. It is all just a picture story, and it is just amazingly well told. The art is incredible. The story is as realistic as a comic book could be based on the premise. I mean, it's a really good science fiction story. It would be one I would have incredibly enjoyed. And just to be perfectly blunt, I despise short stories mostly. I just do. I want a novel. I want it longer. I want more information. That's just me. So, and I used to accidentally buy anthologies of short stories, science fiction wise, and I'd be like, son of a, I don't. What did I do? So I would have there'd be gems in there, so that would be nice about it. But this would be just an incredible gem of a science fiction story, and it was just done by art instead of words.
It agree, and it makes sense that it is a lot of visual, given that the three protagonists do not have they have a vocabulary. It's limited, and when you get they're dog, cat, and rabbit. They're bandits. Tinker is the cat. Bandit's the dog. Tinker's the cat, and pirate is the rabbit. So it just makes sense that guess what? This is not going to be a dialogue heavy comic book.
Mm-hmm.
Now that said, there are, in my humble opinion, heart wrenching moments throughout this freaking thing that unless you are just soulless, no heart, have no heart, or just don't have any kind of sense of anything to do with animals, don't like animals in general, it's just incredibly tough at points to keep on going.
I told you I liked it. Stop implying I don't have a soul.
I'm not going there. I'm not going there. What are you doing? We're having fun here, no? Um,
I thought I was having fun. I'm sorry.
no, because I used to say the ginger thing, and
Oh no, that wasn't what I was saying. I'm not a
oh, okay,
ginger. No, no, I
all
was
right.
just making. No, I was because I've been. I feel like I've been negative about the things you've chosen in the past.
No, yeah, just but
I think I've been tough but fair.
you've been tough, but there were things. Hey, Squadron Supreme, you had that.
There were
Hey,
things in
there's
all
been
of them I like. I think my critiques have been
yeah,
tough but fair. But I think
I agree.
overall I'm winning.
Okay, that there we go. Scoreboard. I see what we're doing here. I'm trying to think. Like you said, it's a tight story, and in fact, I remember when I was realized I'd flown through all three issues in no time flat because it's just like you said, a very tight, quick read, but
Hmm.
still impactful and powerful. Towards the end, like halfway through the last issue, was just like, I wish they would stretch this out, and then I kind of stopped myself and thought, you know what? No, it's you can tell where it's going. I felt
Yeah.
like a little bit maybe in beginning, middle, end, and we're done. And let's get in, do it, and get out. And masterfully done. So I mean, the plot's really easy. They escape the scientific experimental place in. I'm blanking if we find out. Is it in Colorado or something?
I
I don't
don't.
even know.
I legit
It's
don't
Air
remember.
Force. I think it's Air Force. Anyways, and they send just regular Joes, regular military after them, and they just plow through them. Nice, well played, sir. I just want the record to reflect that my co-host was picking his nose and did that on purpose to distract me. Well played, sir. And so they get out.
I want to apologize. I seem to be feeling a bit puckish today. So,
Okay. Ooh.
evidently.
Okay. No, and bandits always wanting to be a good dog. I'm sorry. I'm just on focus on this
No,
thing
no,
because
you're fine. I want to because
go ahead.
we've gotten to that point. There was a just an amazing art page. It was a full page, and it is when the creator of these animals, the trainer, and I don't remember exactly what her role in this was, but they were her. It was her project. She has been told to get rid of them, and instead she releases them, but she did it as a time thing, and as she's leaving, it is just all art going down the page, and it is one big page, and it's just going back and forth from her walking out to them kind of releasing, and then the trail of destruction is they basically kill everyone in the facility on their way out the damn door. The
Well,
three animals.
yeah, that's what they were
Yeah.
trained to do, and they're very good at their job. and now they've been their skills, their natural instincts have been amplified, and their killing abilities. So yeah, that you're right. That sequence again. There's a few of those sequences, sequential art sequences sequential art sequences that are just amazing and very well done. Roseanne is her name, is the doctor. At the beginning, lets them out, and at the end, they convince her to try to help capture them, given that they're leaving just a.
Oh, yeah, they're just leaving a trail of blood behind them.
And then she sacrifices herself so that they don't kill. Is it Bandit? Maybe. Yeah,
I think
because
so,
she's saying
yes.
you're a good dog, and she says your name's Bandit. I remember that.
Hmm.
And again, heart wrenching.
Well, once they get out, they start in their little broken discussion with each other, talking about what they're going to do, and the cat's all like, "Well, we're gonna live here. We're fine. Well, we can find food. We can do this." And I'm saying a lot more words than they are. They're expressing themselves slightly monosyllabic. Oh, fuck.
Monosyllabically, I think is maybe how you say it. I
Well,
don't know.
evidently my fun with those words that I was leading up to all day failed me there. Oh well, there was going to be a reveal, but anywho, Bandit wants to go home. They want to make this. I did kind of like this idea because there are so many movies about the lost pets traveling just thousands of miles to get home, and then you have these three manufactured monsters going on the quest home.
Cyborg animals. That you're
Uh
right. I
huh.
didn't even think of that angle,
Oh, you
Charles,
didn't?
about the
Oh,
whole.
that.
No,
Uh, when Bandit is like home, home, and the cat's like, dude, this is home. This is home.
right. And he's like, no, no, home good, or
Yeah.
and I'm blanking on the dog movies that we grew up on.
Yeah,
Benji
I
movies.
there are more actual classic. Just absolutely, that's what the animal is doing is on their way home.
And then I didn't really get, now that you say that, they end up going to like this concrete yard, right? Or this warehousey thing, and that was Bandit's home before all this. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, they went to an abandoned house. I thought that was. Didn't they go to an
Was
abandoned
it
house?
maybe it was just an empty house? Okay, there
Yeah.
you go.
So
You're
his
right.
home was gone.
Ah, okay.
I thought that was what happened.
For some
So
reason I remember. Oh no, I'm thinking of when they were pinned down
yeah, they were
at one
pinned down
point.
in a thing, but they did eventually get somewhere,
You're right.
and then it was empty. Jumping ahead, so they go through all this, but during it they meet a homeless guy. The
Yeah,
homeless guy looks after them, or they don't kill him. That he was nice. He was worried about him, right?
absolutely. And
Yeah.
then the military powers that be find out that this homeless guy, encountered them. They want the homeless dude to give them the lowdown, and he's like, no,
Yeah.
screw you,
I,
fascist pigs, or
yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
These poor
He
animals.
he wasn't wrong.
No, no, he wasn't. And eventually, this came out in '04, so yeah, spoilers. Unfortunately, three. So one is Bandit, the dog. Two is Tinker, the cat, and three is Pirate, the rabbit. Three, Pirate, the rabbit doesn't make it.
That was sad.
Uh, yeah, that was again. And
He
you know what? I
he
didn't.
truly was. He truly was a vicious rabbit. He had fangs like you didn't think of that?
I did not think of that.
Really?
What
Oh
is
my
wrong with me?
lord.
How did I not
Where
think
is
of
my Hold on.
Holy Grail?
Hold on.
Nice.
I have a vicious rabbit, Jade rabbit.
That is awesome.
So,
No, and he was a vicious rabbit. Although the killer out of all of them was the cat.
well duh.
Yeah, cats
I
are cats. Cats
Cats are
are
awesome.
yeah. They're hunters.
Yeah.
So
Delightful little sociopaths. They're really not sociopaths.
no, they're just very
They're
finicky.
yeah, they're very good at what they do. And what they do is kill things.
Yeah, yeah. And guess what? They can kill anything when you put armor on them
Oh yeah.
and, and
Give
mechanize them.
Hey, guess what? Give Cat enough time, he can kill anything anyway.
Yeah. Oh, and then so unfortunately, sadly, Pirate doesn't make it. But guess what? Bandit and Tinker, one and two, they get their armor off, and they
Well,
end up. Well, good.
they're dying. There are things that they have to have. That was something they left out when Roseanne was telling them, well, we don't have to chase. We don't have. They're going to just die because they have to have all of these drugs, and it's what keeps them alive and sustains them. They've got this armor and this stuff, and they're just going to die. Just let them die. Don't keep throwing people at them. And they're like, no, we got to go kill them. So I mean, they take out a strike team. They end up taking out the bigger, stronger manufactured animals.
Yeah, number 4.
Yeah, number 4 comes after them, and they survive that. So they end up at the house that we mentioned, the empty house, and they're dying. I mean, that
Right.
they're just, and it was sad because they're just, it's worth reading of between the two scenes. It's worth reading for this one and the one I was talking about, just the hunting, just with no writing, no nothing in it. Just when they were hunting to get out, that's when the homeless guy comes in, and he finds
Right.
them, and he takes off their armor.
Which I guess wasn't clear to me that by taking off the armor, they did not need that medicine to keep on living.
Evidently
Presumably.
not. Evidently
Okay.
not. So that happens, and when the military arrives there, all they find is the empty house with the armor.
Right.
And we have a
And
nice, yeah. Then we have a nice post log scene
yeah, the home. Yeah, go ahead.
with the homeless guy with a dog and a cat that are just
Huh?
mangled looking, just poor. The worst case scenario that you would see pets of a homeless guy.
You would think mange on steroids
Yes.
and just look terrible, but it's because they used to have all sorts of
Hmm.
things connected to them.
And have
And
murdered scores of people.
yes, and then you see one of the scientists that was in the project. Do you remember that where he gives the homeless guy money,
Yes.
like
Yes.
he knows who he is and gives him like $500
Hmm.
and
That's
says,
true.
"Okay, here you go."
I forgot about that. You are
Yeah,
correct. It's like, okay, I see. Good on you. Here's something.
I'm trying to think. Oh, that I was going to mention there is one part which I can't help but think was not even an homage, just a reference to $6 Million Man. Because at one point when the military guy and the science guys are watching Fido number 4 go up against We 3, there's a little bit of dialogue there where he says they're bigger, better, stronger, faster.
Oh,
And
damn! I missed that.
I look, it's been a while since I watched a $6 Million Man rerun, but I kind of remember something like that in $6 Million Man. So that was I missed everything from Monty Python and the Holy Grails, the rabbit with pointy teeth, and I didn't get the dogs, trying to go home for thousands of miles. But I did pick up on I feel like the $6 Million Man reference.
There's even a movie. When I say there's a movie where a dog and a cat travel.
I kind of remember that.
Yeah, and I never watched those, but it's part of the zeitgeist of our childhood. Or actually, I think it was we were a little older when those were coming out, or some of
That's
them.
what
They've been making those forever.
that's what I was going to say. I feel
Don't
like
mess with the microphone. Keep it pressed up to your face.
I,
Sorry,
but what do I
Hobbs.
do with what do I do with my hands?
Oh, you're not pulling me off sides there.
What is
Oh,
that your house?
yeah, that's my house.
Is your house on fire?
I don't think it's my house on fire.
Okay.
The sirens, the sirens went by on Skillman. Yeah,
Okay.
just keep it up to your mouth.
Hold on. Let me do this then. Let me just keep it back there. Okay, there. That's
Yeah.
better.
Well,
Okay.
I just need it. I just need it close to your face, so I don't have to look at it.
Sounds like my first date.
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, I
Uh,
like looking at your face. Don't get me wrong. You're a very handsome man, but it works better for the sound levels.
I'm going to be waiting with bated breath to see how this sounds when it's all done and ready to go by you, of course.
Oh,
But I can't. I'm hoping this makes a vast difference in the sound quality from my end. So I don't. I'm trying to think. If there's anything else really to say? Just it was good.
yeah, it really was just a very good comic book, or I guess graphic novel. Very short, to the point, wonderful little novella.
And when you mentioned that you're not a fan of short stories,
Hmm.
I am a. Growing up, I loved Sherlock Holmes,
Hmm.
all short stories. I loved Edgar Allan Poe, short stories. I never thought of, yeah, comic books, short stories, but they are. Now
Uh,
you're
no, not as much. Short stories are a self-contained unit. Sherlock Holmes is a little different because it was a running thing of a character, and these were just each case, so they were shorter and there was some overarching stuff. I do like some Sherlock Holmes stuff. I'm thinking of all the just a hey, I want to talk about this one particular little thing in a short story, and that kind of short story. A
Yeah.
comic book is a episodic type thing. The one single comic book of 24 pages is going to be short, but they almost always continue into the next one. So it takes three, four, five to make at least even a small arc.
No, I got you.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying. But is this? But you're. I'm not gonna say you dislike them out of hand, but is this one of the reasons why you hate Philip K. Dick?
No, he's
'Cause
just not a good writer.
I just wanted to hear you say that. Okay.
I mean, he's just so his writing is not good in my personal opinion. So,
Yeah.
you like his movies, you've never read any of his books, have you?
I've read a couple, but it's
Okay.
been years.
Okay.
It's been many, and I'm looking at my bookshelf right now because
And
I
you
know I have
liked
a
them?
collection somewhere. They were fine. I mean,
You
it
got real
wasn't.
high there.
I
Yeah.
did. I
Yeah,
went high
they were
voice.
they were
You know. Hey, you know, no Ray Bradbury, but it's okay.
he's certainly no Heinlein.
Ooh, ooh. No, I don't think many people
Well, he's no
are that.
Asimov either.
Or Kurt Vonnegut. I'm a big fan of the Vonnegut.
I've read. I would not say I'm a big fan of Vonnegut because I don't know if I'm deep enough to get it. But yeah, that dude can write.
Yeah, and it's like I've read like two or three of
Yeah,
his.
I
The two or three I've read, I've really enjoyed the crap out of.
yeah.
So anyway, sorry about that bunny trail. Just since you mentioned the short story, because this is a self-contained.
hmm
There has never been a sequel.
It,
There's never been a follow-up.
it doesn't need that. And look, when I say I don't like short stories, I've read a number of short stories that I really liked. I'm just talking about as I've just read so many that aren't to my taste. This is more what I'm saying. There's nothing inherently wrong with short stories. I've written a short story. It's happened. Yes. Is someone pointed out to me in my book club at the time when I mentioned that I didn't like short stories. They said to me, I've read a short story you've written." I'm like, "I know. It also sucked." No.
Oh, I was gonna say you were probably, and that was excellent. You're welcome, world.
But mine was incredibly short story. I mean, it wasn't, I mean, it was something I wrote in one night really quick because I couldn't sleep one night. So,
Yeah, cool.
yeah,
Okay.
I will not ever make anybody read it
I was gonna say maybe,
again.
and I think now I kind of want to read it.
It
Uh,
Anywho, that is
okay.
my yeah. I don't like to talk about myself and how great I am.
No, not you. Never. Never. Oh, and I guess one last thing because I did read a little bit about both of these collections that we read, or you know, WE3 was a three-issue thing.
hmm
It's been optioned for a movie,
We
like
three?
way back when,
Okay.
man. Like
Yeah.
right after it was released, and then
Yeah.
nothing ever came of it. I'm not sure. You know, what's his face? You're gonna laugh when I say what's his face is. Alan Moore famously said that sometimes, you know, he doesn't think his comic books. Alan Moore? Am I making up his name?
It depends
Watchmen?
on who
Yeah,
you're talking about.
Watchmen.
Okay, The Watchmen.
Watchmen did.
Yeah, I was gonna say I
He
don't. You're not. That is a person I am aware of, a writer of comic
well,
books. But
when I say what's his name, because
yeah,
Alan Moore is regarded by some, and me too, as one of the best comic book writers, you know, in the
yes,
last whatever many years.
he is a genre changing writer.
He famously has said on numerous occasions that he didn't like his stuff being adapted into movies.
Sure.
He wanted it to be a comic book. I don't know. I'm curious as to your opinion about, should this be adapted into a movie? Would it be a movie people would want to see? It seems like
Li-
it'd be, if it was a tough read.
li-
How tough of a watch?
Live action or cartoon. I would do it as a cartoon. And I
I would.
mean, but I would do it probably. I would try to take as much of the style of it, and I could see it as an anime type, that style. I
Huh.
legitimately could. I With the right person doing it, it could be really really good. I don't see a live action personally, but some of these directors and cinematographers, they have visions that are amazing, and they can take stuff and make it work. And it is such a really good story that I could see it. But I'm okay if it doesn't have one. I probably
Me,
wouldn't watch it because it'd be a little too bloody for me because I'm a sensitive lad.
well, and I agree. I don't agree that you're sensitive lad. I think you're pretty tough. But when I heard it was optioned. Back way when, like 2 or 3 years after it even came out, like mid 2000s.
Hmm.
Then I found out when reading a little bit about it, John Stevenson apparently was the guy that directed Kung Fu Panda. So
Hmm.
I never thought about it as animated until I saw that, and that's when I thought, oh, okay, maybe animated. But then a lot more recently compared to that, but not too recent now, 2015, James Gunn expressed interest in wanting to adapt WE3, and I thought that was interesting. And I thought of the CGI
Oh, wow.
and what they've been able to pull off with Rocket in the Guardians, it made me think, okay, so I don't know.
I will say I would still like to see it as animated because I think it would be hard to soften it if it were live action, even if it were live action CGI, because it had the real thing about it was with all the gore and what have you, and the fact that it was a comic, is the art softens them when it needs to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there are parts where they get in there with the dog's
Uh
expressions,
huh.
Bandit's expressions, or the look of despair on Roseanne's face that maybe would be hard to pull off. I don't know. I wanted to point that out that it had
Yeah,
been
that would be awesome.
optioned at some point. I don't know if it's still in the works. Who knows? So there's that. So no, that was it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad you didn't just crap all over it like you do everything I suggest.
Hey, you suggest we go to the bar and have drinks sometimes. I don't crap all over that.
Well, that's just because that's just an easy. That's easy.
No, I did. I truly, truly enjoyed that. And now, before we get into the next one, because of cajoling by you, I'm going to do something that you asked me to do.
Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun.
We're gonna.
Charles's jokes at the expense of the great Jack the King Kirby. Take the floor, Charles.
Well, they're not really jokes. These are just the notes that our unpaid intern got hold of and put on Twitter.
There you go.
One of which was just listing the people. It's the deviants, the humans, the eternals, and next to the deviants, I wrote riff on this. And I really did legitimately want to riff on the whole idea of deviance, especially since, okay, yeah, we're doing this. And I posted it, I think, on the Twitter page.
Uh-huh.
And let me see if you stay in picture in picture. Okay, you're gonna do that. There was a place in it where the deviants had attacked New York, and they were discussing the deviants attacking New York. And during that, here it is. Look outside the window. New York City is aflame. It's been subjected to a surprise attack. The deviants are swarming everywhere. First off, and I apologize for this, I really do. What popped into my head, because it was literally Pride Month, was like, well, yeah, it's Pride.
Yeah.
And I apologize. That was a poor joke. I'm sure. Please don't cancel me for that. That was just in my head. So there you go. This is where my old brain is. And the response to that was, because Cersei was saying that, was, I know you well, Cersei. My guess is that you've beaten off a few already.
Yeah, I remember that panel. That was Jack Kirby's a lot of things. Maybe he's not the greatest writer, but gosh darn it, he did that on purpose.
Oh, absolutely did that on purpose. And God bless him. But I couldn't help it. So, yes, I wanted to riff on the whole deviant thing. Because in my head, I was calling them also degenerates. I'm like, ooh, deviants and degenerates. I'm like, wait, why are they so bad? I can be kind of deviant.
Well, deviant behavior, back in the
Exactly.
day, you
Exactly.
know,
Yes. And,
uh,
and and I'm all for deviant behavior. Whatever two adults or three adults or four adults or five adults or six, you get what I'm saying. Wish to do with each other consensually is fine by me.
exactly. Here, here.
So then I mentioned the shroud gun because that was something we didn't talk about. The shroud
No, you
gun.
did.
It shoots a fucking blanket.
Yeah, it does. It's a glorified t-shirt cannon.
Maybe it was the invention that. Oh my God! Kirby invented the T-shirt cannon.
Jack the King Kirby invented the t-shirt cannon.
Except his T-shirt, instead of killing Ned Flanders' wife, would
Yeah.
cover her gently with a blanket.
And somehow cancel out their powers.
Well, yeah, but well, no, that's just because Eternals are parakeets. So you put a blanket over their head, and they think it's night and goes to sleep.
You
That
just made me.
was
You made me snort. That was
that
good.
was the joke I wrote.
Yeah, I believe you. That's. See, this is gold.
That's the joke. So then I was listing the Eternals' powers right as they were first doing it. I told you I did this on the first day, the first time I was reading it. I kind of lost. I got busy and was reading quick and doing other stuff. So the Eternals, Icarus, first one we meet, powers laser eyes, molecular manipulation, exposition.
He's a talker.
Oh, he is. Well, that was his pure role. Is from the beginning. He's explaining everything. And I already talked about the Ajax communicates with the gods. Incan god.
Yeah, Incan, we got that so
Wait,
wrong. Leslie. What did we say? We saw Mayan. We saw
I said
Aztec.
Aztecs. You said Mayans, and we were both incredibly incorrect.
They all look the
Yeah,
same terms. Can I get away with that because I'm
I
Hispanic?
yeah, you can. You
Okay.
can. I ain't touching that one.
Okay.
So Ajax communicating with the gods. That's one of his powers. All of them have molecular manipulation. I learned that later. But with Ajax, as I said, I listed this, and I really wish I meant it this way because I just read this again. It says Incan god wearing sunglasses. I kind of wish I'd have made a joke, had prepped a joke that the Incan god of wearing sunglasses because that amuses me. He's the
Yeah,
Incan god of wearing sunglasses,
that's his thing.
and he has the power of coolness. Thus, the sunglasses, which I literally think I nailed it on the head because Salma Hayek is going to be playing that character, and she's cool as hell.
Yeah, if anybody can pull off wearing sunglasses all the time, everywhere, no matter what, and be worshipped as an Incan god,
I would worship Salma Hayek as
Selma
whatever she
Hayek can do
wished
that.
me to worship her as, and that sounded creepy. I'd like to apologize. I meant it that way.
You know, I can see your shrine to Selma Hayek right behind you, right? It's weird, but
Uh,
cool.
Dude, if I had a shrine to Salma Hayek behind me, I would take a picture of it and put it on Twitter because that would be funny as hell. Now I have to make a shrine to. Damn you.
You just gave yourself some homework.
So those were that was the level of humor I was working with. You see why I don't have a stand-up career.
No, that would have killed in 1979.
Well, that would kill at the right comic book convention.
Oh yeah, it would. Yeah, it would.
I'm gonna tailor a tight five, and I'm gonna work it for. I'm gonna do the.
Oh, can you hear me? Because I can't hear you.
Oh, okay. I can hear you.
That was weird there for a second. You went dead. Could you hear me?
Okay,
Okay,
I
go
can
ahead.
hear you now.
I,
Yeah.
I think my screensaver went on, and okay, you're
Okay.
no,
Okay.
but you could carve out a career as a Comic Con. You could do a
Comic Con
tour. You could be
comic.
like a Comic Con
I could just go
stand-up
around to
comic.
all the local things, have a tight 15 of just riffing on comic books, talking about the Shroud Gun.
Hmm. You could go old school. New school.
Do
You'd have to keep
do
up with new stuff.
do the parakeet bit.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh
You-
man, the parakeet bit's old, guys. I don't want to do that. I'm working new material. I got a whole Miles Morales thing going on. Then I get
Exactly.
booed off stage. Dude, it'd be from a place of love because Miles Morales is fucking awesome.
Agree.
Yeah.
Uh, any other gems?
No, that's literally all that was on there. I mean, I already talked about Cersei being the party girl. There was no real
Yeah, she
joke
looked to have
about
a good
Cersei.
time.
I love Cersei. I still love Cersei.
Yeah, who's playing Cersei? I
I
don't even
don't
know
know.
who's playing.
I
Okay.
don't know. I don't know. And
Okay.
I truly, I'd like to apologize to the people listening for subjecting you to those jokes. They,
And
they,
go ahead.
oh, they just hadn't been tested.
Well, and to everybody that he just apologized to, I would like to say, you're welcome. Okay. So you had me. Are we ready? Are we ready to?
Yeah,
to
yeah,
move
yeah,
on?
yeah.
So you suggested that I read Bitterroot, um, a comic book that came out, Image, 2018.
Yeah,
So
November
by far,
14th, 2018, the most recent thing we have read.
by far,
Yeah.
like I said earlier on the top, off the top, I knew zero about this, and it's a good. I
Oh
enjoyed it.
man, yeah. I loved it.
It had me reading, looking at everything. The art is unique. It is distinctive. It is brilliant. The concept is at a lot of different levels, and
The concept is brilliant the characters are fucking incredible.
Yeah.
They are just awesome, and the whole idea behind it is awesome. The setting, the time period, the historical stuff they're touching on.
So, do you want to take a shot at a synopsis of this bad boy, or do you want me to? Because I'm not one to shy away from talking,
Okay.
but this is a hard one to summarize in a
It,
few sentences.
I'm gonna give it a little bit. It is the Sangri family.
Is that how we're saying that?
That's how I'm saying that. I don't
Okay.
Sangrye, Sangri.
Right.
And anyone can correct my pronunciation at any time, and I will never ever have a problem with it because me no talk good. The Sangri family with the matriarch. The matriarch is Ma Etta. She's the grandmother, and she is keeping up with the old ways of the family. This takes place in the 1920s in the Harlem Renaissance.
1924 is when we open,
Okay, so
I believe.
thank you for correcting me for using a round number of the 1920s.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You're right. I just remember
No, I know,
they
no,
made
no,
a
you're
point of
good.
saying 1924.
No, that's good. Because I had forgotten that. I truly ridiculously puckish today. I apologize. They are a family that hunts monsters, but not to kill them, to heal them.
In the mon-
The
Go ahead.
monsters are called the
I
Gino,
was saying in Jinu.
Ginu.
I don't know how you stress which
I,
syllable
I
you
don't I don't
stress.
know either. So we'll go. Genu sounds like what it would be, and I believe, as I said, was reading David F. Walker talking about this, working on it, and what they came up with. That is a name in an African language. That is a word in an African language that means devil.
Okay.
In a particular African language, he didn't mention which one it was, so I'm not just saying it's because I truly don't know. So it means devil, and they mix up roots that they are injected into these monsters, these Jinnu, they come back to being white people. And the premise of this is racial hatred causes them to metamorphosize into racist monsters. And
Racist monsters, yeah.
yeah,
The Jinu.
the
I
Jinnu.
was going to say the hatred that gets to the point where you're right, they transform into,
They turn into a devil. Yeah,
yeah.
a demon, a devil, however you wish to say it. And it in metaphorically, it is not subtle, but it is absolutely dead on wonderful. So they save them. They have to fight them. So Ma Etta is who mixes up the roots, and then the boys,
Berg and
Berg,
Cullen.
Berg and Cullen. I've done it again on this. There are not jokes on them because Berg, I just called him the erudite behemoth. Berg is a gigantic man, and he is incredibly erudite. He uses just that's been the joke I've been dropping monosyllabic words throughout this podcast. Not that I don't do that often enough, but I've really been really working to drop some in there because that is what he says. And I did have to look one up. I was like, dang it. What exactly does that word mean?
I just went on context. There were a couple that I was like, I'm pretty sure I understand from
Oh,
context.
I understood it, but I literally didn't. I wasn't sure how I would define that word, so I looked it up. I can't remember
Gotcha.
which one it was, but so he wrote the word of a day calendar for the rest of us.
Yeah, yeah, he did. Yeah. Hey, real fast, are you picking up a lot of the stuff in the background?
I heard.
Are you hearing some stuff on my end?
Well, I'm hearing the motorcycle go by right now outside my house,
Yeah,
but
that was your house. Yeah, I could
yeah.
hear that. Okay,
No, I heard some noise. It's fine. Don't worry about
okay.
it.
All right.
Everyone knows we're sitting in our homes. We're not professional podcasters. I have
This is
not.
true.
We have not built soundproof rooms. I am attempting to get your face into the microphone.
I'm right here.
I no, I know that was I have succeeded in my quest. There was a strange woman walking up and down the stairs a little bit ago. I think
Oh,
that was
that's
the noise.
Julie.
No,
That was
thank you. I knew who it was.
Julie. You were on camera.
No, it's
No,
fine.
it's okay. It's okay. No, we're not recording. We're not videotaping.
Yeah.
As far as you know.
No, I
As
am
far
not.
as
I,
as far as you know, Julie.
if you're videotaping, it is news to me, and I guess we have consent to be recorded. So, I mean, it's implied consent. I haven't gotten your I
Yeah.
mean, when you answered the email
The
to Clean Feed and I told you, hey, I'm already recording, you went, oh, wow, okay.
I did say okay. That is true.
So,
Uh,
so
Go ahead.
Berg is the erudite behemoth, and Cullen is the young kid who's learning. And then there's Blink, the granddaughter of Ma Etta.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
Ma Etta wishes for her to do what the women do, which is mix the root to give to the men who fight the monsters to save them. And then they inject them.
But Blink is kind of a natural fighter.
She doesn't want to do that. She
Yeah.
doesn't want to do that. And they start talking about backstory because Ma Etta is trying to make sure she wants her to stay safe. And her mother, we find out, was like Blink and was no longer with us
And a
because she
few family
feels,
members.
yeah, a
Yep.
few. Well, she and her father went out at the same time. And it was based on because if she had just convinced her daughter not to go out and fight, she'd still be with them. So, go ahead.
And there's references made to a couple very dark periods in American history and especially African American history. And did you get and I only read this one time. Did Blink lose her parents in the Tulsa massacre, or was that just the other bad guys, but not really bad
That
guys, but
w-
bad guys?
that was the other bad guys were in
Okay,
the Tulsa. Did you not read the whole thing?
I did. I did.
Okay.
No, but where I was trying to figure out where Blink lost her parents. If it was
Yes.
was it 1919 or no?
I don't remember exactly. I read
Okay.
this at the beginning of last week and
Okay. I'm not sure if it was ever made clear. I just was
yeah.
wondering if I missed something because
Yeah,
there's a
I
lot
don't
packed
think
in
it
that.
was I'm trying to get us all the way through before we drop
Go
the
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
because you're asking me questions that I can answer really easily, but we're not at that point yet.
No, I got you. Go
Okay.
ahead.
All
Keep
right.
on going. I'm going.
Okay.
I'm going high voice.
Sorry. Golly, I'm a dick today. Where was I? Okay, so we were talking. We haven't. That's about one of the longest pauses we've had since we started doing it FaceTime during this. That was what like one of our old school pauses
Yeah.
when we just sat and didn't talk. Y'all would not know what those pauses were like because I edit those out, much to Hav's chagrin.
I'm over it. I'm
Okay,
fine.
I got you. All right. So we kind of open with at one point in the very beginning, there's two police officers, a white cop and an African American cop. And they're basically talking about this family and they seem to know something about the Janu. And they deliver people to them or they draw the attention to it because when it happens and they get them over there, the white cop keeps saying to the black cop, "It's your people," and he's like, "They're not my people. I know about this, but they're not my people. They're not my people." So we kind of see the first fight going on basically on the roof of the Sangre family's home, right? That was on the roof,
Correct. Correct.
and Cullen, who does not really do his job very well yet, is attempting to. Well, Berg is basically having him do the fighting between these two Janu,
And
and he,
Berg is just sitting back,
yep, sitting back and critiquing with large words.
loquaciously critiquing.
Yes, wonderfully. I love Berg.
Yeah.
Absolutely love Berg. And so he's getting his ass beat. And down below, we're having the discussion between Ma Etta and Blink about women's work. And I do like the implication that women's work in their minds even then wasn't the well, it's lesser than the man's. It's we're the only ones smart enough to handle this stuff. They can go hit things with us. let us take care of this, and we'll take care of that.
Maya even says, "We're the brains, they're the
Yes,
brawn."
yeah. So she goes up and then she wails on the Janu, and they're able to bring them down. And that's not long after that is where we discover that they're just white people who are some racist garbage, and it took over their life, and they turned into a devil. So
Yeah.
that's the premise of this.
Yeah.
Wow, this is such. There's so much in these. I'm thinking
Five,
about what oh
five issues. Five
oh my
issues.
good grief. There's so much.
And then you're I didn't go issue. I usually do a little synopsis issue by issue, and I did, and I'm kind of kicking myself for not doing that. Get introduced to the Inzondo
Mm-hmm.
in North Short Order, and that's how I'm saying it, Inzondo, and that's a couple
Mm-hmm.
that are African American,
Mm-hmm.
and you find out the Enzando are also monster-like, but still talk and still have rational thought. But they're turning into a monster is born out of sorrow and sadness.
It,
And then for those two for sure, whose names I did not write, I wrote them down somewhere. Oh shoot!
I did not want to go back through. The reason I wrote these names down is these were the names in some stuff I found online. Normally, you can
Gotcha.
go when it's an older comic and find a list of everybody in it. I was not able to find that in the short time I had this evening. The
No, and it's Doctor something and something Slade.
uh-huh.
He's the doctor and she's the Slade, and I'm blanking on the names. But
That's okay. We know who we're
you
talking about.
you find out they were born out of the Tulsa massacre in
Mm-hmm.
1921. And look, I've been born and raised in Texas, San Antonio, high school, went to college at UT Austin, history major.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't heard of the Tulsa massacre until for sure the last 10 years, if not 5 years, and in large measure because of the Watchmen series, when I really did a deep dive on it, because it is not taught. It was not taught to me in the 80s and 90s.
And
And
and when it is mentioned, it's called a race riot.
no, it was a massacre.
Yes, no, it was a yes.
So they reference the Tulsa massacre, and there's also references made to 1919, which I had to look up. That's the again, speaking of calling stuff certain race riots,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. 1919, African American kid, teenager, is stoned to death because he deigned to swim in a whites only area on one of Chicago's beaches, and there's quote unquote riots where 15 white people and 23 African Americans have been killed, and thousands of families, black families, lost their homes and are displaced, and a lot more injured. And of course, it's riots. Now, I guess it started because of racist, you know, idiots and bad people. So yeah, that was mentioned as well. The 1919 thing.
It's not mentioned enough.
Miss Nightsdale, Dr. Sylvester.
Oh,
I
sweet.
did write it down. I just didn't find it.
Okay.
Those are the two. I guess they kind of, if you want to pitch, the protagonists, but coming from a place of sorrow, because they're done. They're fed up, and they've turned into this.
Well, they weren't really the protagonist at first. They were kind of looking for because he, the doctor, was not that yet.
Correct.
She was. They were trying to find. They were so the way we're introduced to them is she as transformed into the how are we saying it?
And Zondo.
And she had transformed into the Enzando, and she is trying to get the couple that Berg and Cullen are bringing to the park to release because they're catch and release. So they're going to release the white couple back into the park, and she wants to get them so they can get some of that really good bitter root from them to possibly heal her. That is what was going on.
Yeah.
So she attacks Berg and Cullen.
Right.
And during that, Cullen is turned.
No.
Nope, Berg. Got it switched. Sorry.
Yeah.
Got
Okay.
got flipped turned upside down.
Right. Berg is turned, but then at some point he's being treated by Maeda, right? And they get him to kind of like a balance point where
Yeah,
he's still in there, but
he can maintain and he can go and eventually they actually can cure him later on, correct? I'm remembering that
yes,
correctly.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes,
But
yes, yes,
but
yes.
but he's able to fight and there is just a barn-stirring battle because the Janu just take over and they end up killing Miss Nightingale. Is it Miss Nightingale? Was that her name?
Nightsdale.
Nightsdale.
I believe.
Nightsdale. Okay. Sorry. Again,
That's fine.
I'm horrible with names. I'm literally keep referring to my pad that I wrote some of them down on. She ends up dying, and the doctor loses his mind, decides that what he's become is not a type of devil, but an avenging angel, and that he is here to cleanse the earth of forget the catch and release, the save the people. There's no saving these people. I mean, he's not necessarily completely wrong on that.
Well,
I,
his sorrow has turned him into what he hated, which is
yes, yes.
a hateful,
What?
event,
Yeah, but
killing the
yes.
others.
So we have this just massive battle in New York. and all the cops, except the two that had been looking out for this, actually turn into Janu, and they're attacking black people throughout Harlem.
Well, in issue two, by the way, let me if you don't mind, let me
Yeah, yeah.
interject.
No, there's some more stuff.
You
Yeah.
get introduced to one of the family of Sangree
Hmm.
down in Mississippi.
Oh yeah, this is awesome.
Ford Sangree, who comes across some guys in hoods
Hmm.
trying about to lynch somebody,
Uh huh.
and they just all happen to turn into Janu.
Uh
Surprise,
huh.
surprise. And he is not of the
He is not catch.
persuasion to catch.
He
Go ahead.
Yeah, he ain't catching release.
No,
They
he's
ain't no good in that. He's turned the corner. He puts him down. He puts him down hard, and it was quite honestly, it was kind of awesome.
yeah.
Because if
It
there's a
was
group of people that deserve to be put down hard, it's them. And then there was one of them left who is just horrified at what this black man has done, and this angry white man in a clan robe, and except he's not a Janu. And then
he
he
did, he
turns,
does he
yeah,
doesn't turn into a Janu.
he doesn't turn into a Janu. And then Ford shows him what his friends were, and to his credit, he gets kind of horrified and then insists on going with Ford to once he learns what's going on and why, I'm really not like that. So
Yeah,
they adopted, he got a white sidekick.
yeah. The white that was one of the that white kid was one of the good ones.
Eh,
Yeah,
he fell
well,
in. He fell in with. He was one that could be swayed. Let's not say the guy that was at a
I
lynching with a bunch of Klansmen is one of the good ones.
I just wanted to use the phrase that he was one of the good ones
Yeah,
because that's a thing.
I understand. I'm just saying
I know.
he
No,
ain't one of the good ones.
he begged off
He,
because I had never been to a lynching before, and
yeah,
I don't know these guys that well.
this was my first lynching. Yeah,
Hmm.
you know what? You're still at a fucking lynching, dude.
Yeah, you put on a hood and a
Yeah,
white robe,
yeah,
so I guess you kind of know what you're buying into when you put on that costume, there, buddy. That you're not going out to go dancing and have some fun
yeah,
when you're wearing that costume.
yeah.
So, uh,
So we meet them, and part of the way he sways the white guy sways him and lets him help out a little is he tells him where there's another clan guy and that like a head clan guy,
yeah,
and they go find him, and he is just as nasty a little piece of work as you would ever expect. And he turns
yeah.
out to be he's not a Janu either though. He's literally a demon, right?
He's either a demon or he's an Nzandu. I was thinking about this because he's sad because he lost the Civil War because he's wearing Confederate garb. Do you remember that? He's got his
Yeah,
little
yeah,
crossing bars hat on.
yeah.
But when he turned into a thinking, talking monster, very similar to Nightsdale and what Dr. Slaughter turned into, I
Hmm.
always wonder if he's a combination of hate and sorrow that he lost.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know,
They
but he's definitely Janu like, but he was a little different. And we find out that there are gates where things come through
from the other side,
from the other side.
the bad side.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
The south.
Well,
Oh no, oh sorry. No, that's right. We mean on a
metaphysical level.
metaphysical level, not a
Yeah.
where bad things come, the south.
Yeah.
Speaking as a
As
southern
a, I was going to say
as
we're
a
both
as
Texan.
a well no, my family is full of southern white men, so
There you go.
I feel I can speak with authority on this.
But yeah, yeah. You should go on tour. So they eventually, I don't know if there's much. They go visit a family. The person that he saved from the lynching. They go visit the family,
Hmm.
and then find out. I think his name is Ford Sangree.
Okay.
Ford Sangree, who's down in Mississippi, says it's time to. How does he find out, or how does he know to go back to Harlem? I forget that
I
part.
I think the whole thing has to do with he thinks there's these gates and he thinks things are going on and he rec.
Oh, they found a map. They found a map of the
Yes, that's
gates.
right. They have a map of the gates and there's
And,
one in Harlem.
and there's the Confederate dude, the
Uh huh.
Confederate Jinu
Yeah.
demon guy's
What?
place. Yeah, and they hightail it back to Harlem.
Yeah. And it was a good idea he did that. So during while all this is going on, as we talked about, Berg was turned, and Cullen goes to find their uncle,
Uncle
who
Enoch.
Uncle Enoch, who dabbles in other things, and who Maeda blames for getting Blink's
Blink.
Blink's parents killed. So he goes off to him, and he gets attacked. Cullen gets attacked by what attacked him when he gets into his house?
Little like weird, kind of like demon dogs,
Yeah,
or
it was
they're
just, and I
weird.
mean, they
They're
went
they're
after
there's
him, and Enoch called him off, and he's like, "Well, why did they attack me?" He's like, "Well, they attacked. It's the Jinnu stench on you. They're trying to attack Jinnu," and
yeah.
I really like that. So he is he's like more, I don't know, Q kind of thing.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean,
Enoch?
like Enoch. Yeah, he's
What is
like the
it?
science type guy.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, so
yes.
he's
And
like
also,
coming up with different things, and they figured Cullen figured he would kind of know how to help Berg, and so they go off to do something about that.
yeah. Well, and they're trying to go back to the house, and I think isn't this all happening at the same time? So
Oh yeah,
Ferguson,
all of this stuff is going on.
the,
I
the
gotta
si-
assume Ford took place a little before all of this, since
right,
he had to go from wherever they were in bumfuck
Mississippi, I
Mississippi.
think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, bumfuck Mississippi, get up to Harlem, and it ain't exactly like there was a red eye back then.
right.
So
Yeah, they're 1920s automobile.
yeah,
I don't know, a train. I
train,
have a
the
train.
train. So
Uh,
that
so
took
yeah,
place like 3 4 days before. So he goes up there. So all of this, New York is erupting
yeah,
at this point.
over Roma Jinu,
Yeah.
and in Zandu, and because
Yes.
you got Doctor Slaughter's going crazy now too.
Yes. Something happens, and there's some great. I mean, there's just some great scenes going on with that. The whole drawing. I mean, it's kind of like a zombie. Oh God, help me.
What? You don't like
There's
zombies?
some zombie-ish stuff going on.
Yeah.
It's a horror comic. I mean, it
Yes.
really is. Demons.
With
It's not zombies. They're demons. Demons are different from zombies. Shut up. Uh,
but with big themes. I mean, it's just
oh my God,
well,
yes.
and not to say that George Romero's zombie thing back in the day didn't have big themes
No,
too, because
this
this is
has
different
this is
overarching
incredibly
themes.
topical.
Yes. Oh God, yes.
Yeah. So there's a battle, and we come around to where the gateway is, and somehow Cullen ends up in there.
Cullen's like the Don Knotts of this family. He just keeps
Oh yeah,
on, but he
yeah.
always,
He
but he
falls.
falls in. He
Yeah,
falls in.
yeah. He falls into the other side.
Of course, they think he's lost.
Yeah, well, they are lost, and we come to find out that's what happened to
Blake's mom and dad.
Blake's parents.
Yeah.
Which the minute he fell in there and was met by people in masks, I tripped to it. I was like, "Oh shit, there we go." I did not see it coming. I will say that, but when they hit me with with the board upside the head, then
Yeah.
I got it.
I thought the same thing. I thought it
Yeah,
was going to either be mom or dad or both of them.
yeah,
That Blink's parents. And you know what
uh-huh.
I thought of, bringing it all full circle, superhero wise. I thought about when in Ant Man they found Wasp's mom
Yeah.
in the
Hmm.
microverse or whatever
The
they
original
call it.
Wasp.
Yeah, the original. Yeah. So yeah, I thought of that because thought she was lost and
Hmm.
presumably for a while,
Oh yeah,
and
a
then
couple of years, wasn't
heroically,
it?
yeah, yeah,
Or
no,
more than that? Is it
yeah.
more than that? Okay,
Blink's mom. Who do we ever get a name on Blink's mom? I don't even know if we do.
it's Blink's
Just
mom.
it's just Blink's
That's
mom.
just her name. Yeah,
Okay,
I am absolutely positive she has a name that
so
I never know. Stop asking me people's names, dude.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Well, and I
No,
really do try to write this
I
stuff
know.
down, and if I did, I just I can't find it in my little thing. Oh yeah, so heroically, the battle is not going well
Uh huh.
against Nzandu, and you got the city of Jinu, and then heroically Cullen and Blink's mom come back,
Mm-hmm.
and Cullen looks like he's grown up a little bit. Have you
Yeah, you
noticed
have to
that?
wonder if you have to figure there's a time shift there because you also have to wonder how long she's been there versus how long they went. I made a joke. We came back from receiving to somebody. It had taken me a while trying to find a fridge, and I made the comment to them. I was like, "Yeah, I'm sorry, it took me a while. It's a mess back there." I also slipped into the magical land of Narnia. I've been gone for 6 months.
Yeah, and
So
it's only been 5 minutes for you,
yeah,
but
yeah,
trust me.
yeah. So yeah, I suspect there might be some time shift thing. And I told you when I finished it that I was going to read the second volume, and I haven't done it yet. But it's calling to me.
No, there's so many. I keep on saying I'm going to do that, and
Oh no, that one's calling to me. That's going to happen.
I haven't finished Black Hammer, man. I still haven't. So I
You're
know.
dead to
Don't,
me.
I know. Don't look at me like that. Just avert your eyes. Don't look at me.
Shame.
Yeah, I can feel you. Just your eyes
And
penetrating.
you were the one telling me, "Oh my God, I want to get deeper into this world." And
I do. I
I was
swear,
sending you stuff
I'm
about the new stuff that's coming out.
I'm looking at the stack right next to me, right next to my printer. That's
Oh,
been
you've got
there.
it. So
Oh, I have it.
you literally have it.
It's
Okay.
it's
All
I
right.
literally have it. So don't.
Okay.
It's on the top of the read pile
Okay.
once I'm done with this stuff.
I
If I
gotcha.
ever get ahead.
Yeah. Well,
So
that's the problem. We're giving
yeah,
ourselves homework.
yeah, but it's good
I'm
homework. Fun
enjoying the
homework.
homework. Yes.
It's not work.
No.
It's home
It's
fun.
play work.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
it's
home
home play.
play. Home
Home
play.
play.
I,
I don't know.
I switched out the wrong words there for
Yeah, you
homework.
did. Yeah, you did. You
It's
left work in there. So the right, this ends on kind of a cliffhanger
yeah,
because that's
because
when Blink's mom comes back and they kind of
she,
get to a stopping point, but it
well,
ends. Go ahead.
yeah, the things are going to go bad. We have to prepare for what's a coming,
Right.
kind of thing. Just your basic end of season one.
Yes. Yes.
I
This.
kind I kind of liken it in only because it's monster hunters. I kind of liken it to the Winchesters.
Yeah.
The end of every season, we've though that's wrapped up, and oh crap, here's the next thing.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, and if I'm reading this right, ongoing series still being
Oh yeah,
published, still going
I
on.
suspect it is. Yes,
Because I'm looking at a thing. It's got yeah, just released June 2021.
good, cause
They're on issue 14, and this collection that we read is 1 through 5.
oh my, am I gonna have to get on a pull list?
You might have to.
I don't think I've ever been on a pull list. I'm sure I could get them digitally. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure you could, man. Well, it's
Yeah.
Image. I don't know if Image does. I'm sure they do. They're
Oh,
Image.
I'm sure I can figure it out. Or I can just wait for the graphic novels as they come out,
Well, I'm
like
glad
I do
you.
with a lot of things.
There you go. Well, yeah. I mean, shoot, it's on issue 14. We just got through 1 through 5,
Hmm.
so there's some catching
Okay.
up to do. I was going to say to whoever you were following on Twitter that put this up there and suggested it, thank you to them, whoever they are.
Well, I had seen it a number of times and was thinking about it. And I was like, I really should read that. That's being, and then right before Patton Oswalt threw it up there,
Okay,
and he's a comic book dude, hardcore comic
sure.
book dude, and I was like, all right, that's I had already planned on reading it, and I'm like, you know what? Everything I've seen is so positive and just oh my god, you need to read this. So I suggested it, and I am so glad I did because it made me put it to the top of my list, and I read it, and I loved it.
Well played, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Well suggested.
Well done on you on We3.
Yeah,
That was out
thank you.
frickin' standing. There were a couple of good comics there.
Absolutely. And you know what? Good creative teams too. Although this is
Oh
the
yeah.
first I've ever read of this creative team, and it looks like they're keeping the hits coming because they're still getting published by Image, and I would bet doing fairly well.
I've
Uh,
read about them. They're all established Filament
okay,
Labs. Yes.
okay,
I don't know. I didn't deep dive on it, but when you look at some stuff, they say some other stuff they've done. So they are established. They were already established when they decided to do this. This has also been optioned for a movie. The director of Black Panther and his company have optioned this for a movie.
nice.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
That could be really
Yes,
good.
that could be awesome. I would
Yeah.
love to see that.
Well, and shoot, dare I say a franchise?
Oh, very easily a franchise.
Yeah, I was gonna say Ryan Coogler. Okay,
Yeah,
I thought it was Ryan Coogler. I didn't.
yeah.
I thought that's who it was. Okay. Well, cool, man. Hey, this was a fun read, and it goes to show. Guess what? You don't have to have 12 issues to make a good arc or a good story. Like some of the things I've suggested we read were just way too long, quite frankly.
No, they were
Not way too
fine.
long. Not way
No,
too long, but they were just longer.
yeah,
And look,
they were
they
longer. I'm gonna build. We're gonna build up to some of this stuff because I do think if we do something really long, we might have to break the yours and mine up into two separate ones because at some point I'm going to do some Spider-Man arcs that are legit long, and I'm going to build you up to the Spider-Verse arc, and that thing is huge.
okay.
We might have to do that over, or we might just do some of it. But I'm going to make you read some Spider-Man because it's about time I reread it because Dan
Okay.
Slott is awesome.
Well, and I'm not. I don't know Dan Slott. I'm sure I've read something he's done,
I've
but
never met
he's
him.
on Spider-Man Forever,
Hmm.
right?
He is the longest. He has written more Spider-Man comics than anybody but Bendis, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was because
And
Bendis wrote all of the Ultimate Spider-Man and Miles Morales for that.
hey, well, maybe a little bunny trail here, but
That's fine.
I'm on the comic book Twitter. There
Hmm.
are a lot of people that don't like Dan Slott, huh? I see a lot of bad people that just do not like Dan
I
Slott, and I don't.
I guess I am not one of those people.
Okay,
From a writer wise, I think I've said it before. He is my favorite Spider-Man 616 writer. Period. And I've read
gotcha.
a lot of Spider-Man. He just gets it with the character in a way that I appreciate. I think I mentioned before he got thrown in. He started doing it right after Caseta said, "Hey, let's blow up everything, and we'll take away Mary Jane, and we're gonna do this, and we're gonna retcon the Ever-Loving Bejesus out of my childhood," which is cool. By the way, I'm not one of those guys that's irritated about it. It's fine. But the things he did with Superior Spider-Man, oh my lord. Superior Spider-Man was an amazing arc. He cleaned up the Clone Wars because he came back and did some clone. He did his own Clone Wars. Spider Island.
Are you trying to say you like him? That you think he's a good writer?
I am saying I
What?
think he's a good writer.
Okay.
Yes. I
Are you saying he's better than Tom DeFalco? And when Ron Friends was the artist, because that's when I read it in the '80s.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
I
he is. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. And
I'm
they're
just
not,
saying
and
that's my wheel.
they're good.
That's
I
my
can't
wheelhouse.
remember. I'm sure I read those. I'm sure I read him and loved it because that's when I was reading that was when I was reading Spider-Man and fell in love with Spider-Man, and they were great, and I do love them. But he took it a different way, or
Cool.
he updated it. It's just that thing. Could they
No,
do
you're fine.
that? Yeah.
I'm just
Oh,
giving you a hard time. I'm just
ah,
mentioning stuff
no.
from my wheelhouse in middle school
Yeah. That
when
that's fine.
I did pick up a few issues of
Yeah.
Amazing Spider-Man.
All right.
But no,
I had Web of, I had Amazing, I had when I started reading it was Peter Parker the Spectacular
spectacular. Yeah.
Spider. No, well, no, but it was the whole thing. Peter Parker the Spectacular Spider-Man, and then it shortened to Spectacular Spider-Man. So I've in my trunk of comics, I've got both of a whole just a. I have a lot of Spider-Man comics.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay. Well,
So
hey,
yeah.
again, I think we're kind of at a natural.
Yes,
We've kind of talked it out, talked it
we have.
through.
We
Any other things to?
well, a little housekeeping.
Yeah.
So our next episode will not be a traditional Hav and Charles Talk Comics. We are set to record with Caesar next week.
Correct.
So after this one, the podcast after this one will be the three of us talking about Black Widow.
Which we all recently saw last weekend.
Yes, and we opening day, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
we all enjoyed
And
it, and we're gonna deep dive into that and have some fun. And you'll get to see someone turn me back on me in ways that Hav can't do.
no, because Caesar's known you longer, and he can push your buttons a little differently. I feel like,
Oh yeah,
and yeah, because you all went to college together,
we did.
right?
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and should we? So yeah, that's going to be fun. I
So
am looking forward to that because then Caesar can show me how to use a
a microphone.
microphone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
as
important that you.
as he told me when we saw the movie together, because you had told him we finally saw each other during the podcast, and I saw that Hob was 10 feet away from the microphone. One of Caesar's first thing was to say to me was, "I needed to get your mouth right on top of that freaking microphone. I'm tired of leaning in to try to hear what you're saying when I'm listening to your podcast."
The funny
So
thing is, I explained all this to Caesar while Hav was getting snacks.
yeah,
So Caesar and I were sitting chatting, waiting for the movie, and I was telling him about that, what was going on, that we had first watched it, and Hav had it on a stand, and he's standing, and then he would turn his head away, and I said, I finally figured it out, and Caesar looked at me, and he goes, I thought he was doing it on like his microphone on his laptop.
right. Like you couldn't tell I have this nice fancy microphone, and hopefully this episode makes a difference.
Yeah.
Caesar, you're welcome. I hope. And I just said, hey, like you said, look, I've done a fair amount of public speaking, but not on a microphone, not using a microphone like this.
Okay.
The few times I have, I've been on the radio once, I think, and they did tell me just get on top of the microphone. I didn't remember that or think about
Okay.
that for the
Okay.
podcast. And then any other time has been like at a podium. And that on a podium,
It,
microphone doesn't have to be right on top of you. You're kind of,
that's a
a
different,
foot or two away.
but a handheld mic is up at your face.
Yeah.
You hold a handheld mic and you get it in your face a lot of the time. So, other housekeeping. After that, we're going to read alias Jessica Jones. Jessica Jones alias.
Issues 1 through 6, I believe.
Whatever that first volume is, that like I said, I've got it to you, and I got to get it to you so you can read it. And we're also reading, what was it, the
Golden Age.
Golden Age.
DC Elseworlds, I believe. Speaking of, you said something that you saw repeatedly on Twitter. The reason I picked this up back way when was because there were so many, when people would talk about best Elseworlds or best stuff they've read in the last so many years, Golden Age kept on coming up over and over again by Twitter folks who seem to be on the same wavelength as me as to thoughts and opinions about certain basic things about comic books and whatnot. So that's, kind of how you came across Bitterroot. That's how I came across Golden Age.
I'm looking forward to this. I like some of my favorite DC stuff were the Imaginary Tales. When I was a kid, when I would pick up the Imaginary Tales, like at a, you could buy that, or actually it was more thumbing through them places, old Superman comics, and it was Imaginary Tales where they went off and did something weird. Yeah. I liked those a lot. I like the lesser characters too, and I like when they update the old characters so they take the character the way they were in the Golden Age, but write it like they would write it now. I think they're really good, and I think we got a good taste of that with Black Hammer.
Yes, absolutely.
That was very much a, hey, let's take these, I'm going to create these Golden Age type characters, but I'm going to write them like modern comics are written, and they were incredible. So I will enjoy that. It's one of the reasons why I enjoy when Marvel does their year one kind of stuff. Those are fun, even if some of them aren't the best, but they're still good,
Yeah.
So
yeah. Okay.
I am looking forward to that next reading, and I just like the Jessica Jones one. It's dark and gritty, and you know how I feel about noir.
Exactly. We might have to break out that chord thing I did for.
Yes. Yeah. We might have to do that.
Stumptown.
Yeah, because that is
cool.
definitely. That's definitely noir.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think thank yous are in order to everybody that's listened this go around. This is episode 6. Is that true?
This is episode 6. 5 is alive and on the air, or on the internet.
Yeah.
The last one.
Thank you to everybody that listened.
Hold on. Oh, I do a special thank you to Patrick, my brother, Patrick Herring. One for the music, that if y'all listen to episode 5, Patrick did it. And also he explained to me, because we were talking about the 5-star review, that was him. He gave us the 5-star review on iTunes or Apple Podcasts.
Aww.
Yeah.
And you didn't pay him for that.
I didn't know he did it. So I did thank him.
Nice of him.
Yeah. No, he's legitimately a good dude. I don't know where he gets it. So
I know, not from you.
Oh God, no.
Tell him thank you for me too if you haven't already. That was very nice of him.
I will. All right. Yes, thank you for everyone listening. This has gone kind of long, huh?
Longer than I thought. For being a 3-issue and a 5-issue, I was not that I was afraid. I was like, we're going to get into this and get out in under an hour easy.
And we didn't even go down a lot of bunny trails.
No, we didn't.
So, real quick, Hav and Charles Talk Comics on Twitter. Send us an email. Gmail is havandcharlestalkcomics@gmail.com.
Right.
JAVANDCHARLES talkcomics@gmail.com. We would love to hear from y'all. It would mean please let us know. Like and subscribe to the podcasts, or give us 5-star reviews.
Constructive criticism would also be appreciated.
Yes.
Constructive being the key word. Just, you don't have to just be mean.
You can be mean. You can be mean to me. You can be mean to me. I like it.
Hey, the other thing, yeah, you do. Suggestions.
Yes.
If anybody has anything they want to suggest.
Oh yeah.
That we read.
Absolutely.
That hey, you read this, you read that. Have you read this, or would you think about reading this? I would love to hear somebody suggest something.
That would be brilliant. Be forewarned, I reserve the right to dunk on you about your suggestions.
Yes, and you should know that, because you can see what he's done to what I've suggested he read so far, except for this episode, this podcast, episode 6. Charles is nothing but honest, and it's not that he's wrong. It's his opinion, and it's I agree with 99% of it. It's just he's going to tell you how he feels.
I want to go out and reiterate this. This is all just my opinion. I do not think that you liking something that I don't like means you're wrong. It just means I don't like it. That is it. Everybody, that's why, as I've stated many times, that's why there's so much different things, and that's so awesome. There should be things out there for all of us,
Exactly.
but none of them should have zombies in them.
Oh. So we're gonna do a deep dive on Walking Dead, the first run, but first 12 issues of Kirkman here. I'm now. I'm looking. Oh my God, the look on your face. It's priceless. Priceless. But you love you some Invincible. But
I
Walking
do.
Dead.
No,
But
Kurtman's incredible. He just wrote a genre of books I don't care for. That
you
I
don't like
that
you don't like horror that
I
much.
yeah, but and I just don't like zombies. I just don't like them. I don't like the idea of them. I think they're silly, and
Well,
then they're
it was
also
all the metaphor and all that, and
uh,
whatever, the Red Scare and Cold War and blah blah blah. I don't know.
yeah,
I
sure.
read something about it about George Romero back in
Okay. Hey,
the granddaddy.
I'm sure it's incredibly metaphorical. Some things aren't for me.
No, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. No, I I'm. It's not like I'm a zombie head or
Yeah.
go to zombie conventions, but there are some zombies. Like I like 28 Days
Hmm.
Later. I like that one that Zack Snyder did in the mall.
Okay.
Uh, Dawn of the Dead, maybe the one. But anyways,
I I
again, we
enjoyed
digress again.
I enjoyed Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead is a stop down movie for me.
I wouldn't go
That
that far,
and
but I enjoyed it.
Hot Fuzz and Shaun of
Hot
the Dead.
Fuzz is awesome.
But those two, and more so now, Hot Fuzz. When that comes on, it doesn't matter where it's at in the movie. It's like, how much is left? Because that's what I'm doing for the rest of this time. Oh, there's an hour and a half left. Okay, I'm stuck here for an hour and a
Guess
half
I'm
because
not
now
going to
I
church.
guess I'm not going to work this morning.
You really
So
have to stop turning on the TV
and
right
going
before work
and searching the guy.
and
Oh,
searching
Hot Fuzz is on. Gotta call in.
All right.
No, okay.
We've taken up
Wow.
way too much of anyone that is still listening's time, but thank you so much for listening. Truly appreciate it. This has been Hav and Charles Talk Comics.
Talk to y'all next time.